continue to stay consistent and focus on improvement.
All right. What's up, everybody? Just for the record, little bro, somehow you stayed up on the screen during the intro. So that didn't work out like we planned. So I think you have to mute on the thing, but that's okay. Anyway, welcome, everybody. This is Everything Titans. It is the Tennessee Titans weekly podcast from NGSC Sports. I'm your host, Ralph Garcia, joined by my co-hosts. I'll bring them in right now. Of course, he the gray one. He the one that looks older than all of us. Maybe he is, I'm not sure. Of course, one of the blessings of my life, my cousin, and of course, co-host of Everything Titans, Mr. Antoine Hudson. What up, cuz?
How's it going?
All right. Damn, it's broken down, old man. It's going good. Mr. Smooth. That cool motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? That's why I gotta say it like this. Ain't a lot of descriptions you can use for this brother, right? You know how to tell a story, put the beat behind it, and talk a lot of shit, of course. Can't have a show like this. Co-host of Everything Titans, another blessing in my life, my little cousin, the Dean. What up, cuz?
Going through it, cuz. Ready to talk these Titans, man. Get another week under our belt. Glad to be here.
Our brain, I think. Our Einstein, he thinks. Man who's going to break it down, at least we hope. One of the greatest things to ever happen to me. My little brother, co-host of Everything Titans, Mr. Bradford, sir. What up, little bro?
What's up, everybody? How's it going out there in Titans land? This is Victory Monday, as they say, and I'm ready to get to talking about some Titans.
Why don't we do that? But before we do that, please remember the website. It is ngscsports.com, where you catch all of your current content. If you log on to the website right now, you will see, a lot of shit on the website. Sammy Sportface brings us Destiny, Wake Forest and Colorado to meet in the national title game. Now, let's try to remember for all of y'all that are on this show that are new, and those watching the show that are new to Sammy Sportface. If you've been with me, you're not new to Sammy Sportface. Sammy, a lot of screws loose. Don't really know what the hell he's talking about. Don't make a lot of sense. But when you're getting 10, 20, 30,000 reads an article, Sammy can say what the fuck he wants. I really don't care. Larry Frank from Frankly Speaking Sports brings us Vols get chopped by the Gators in the swamp. Look, I'm just going to say this about this game, okay? Whether you Tennessee or whether you Florida, always know that the other team is coming to town, okay? Or they coming to your place. And I don't care where they're ranked, if they're unranked or what. It's Tennessee, Florida. So Tennessee comes in ranked number 11. All the prognosticators are saying, well, this is a 2-touchdown win, 3-touchdown win, it's a 10-point win. They forgot to tell the Gators. They forgot to put it on the scoreboard in the swamp because, damn, 29-16 don't even tell the real story of that football game. They got their ass whooped, bro. They got their ass whooped. I know.
I don't want to talk about it. I love you, Vols. I love you. Hey,
and that's why I went straight to him. That's why I went straight to him, because I knew he was going to cut it right there. End of story. Bradley Walker, of course, he sits in the press box for us for University of South Florida Bulls football. He brings us the USF Bulls, a tough and close loss to Alabama. I don't know what happened in that game to Alabama. What, Dean? What? Oh, okay. I don't know what happened. I don't know, but you're on mute, bro. You're on mute, cuz. I don't know what happened to Alabama in that game. And at one point in the article, because I have to edit and post, of course, and at one point in the article, Bradley writes, and the score didn't indicate, or something about who the better team was. Like he was implying that USF was the better team. I was like, dude, I had to edit that, man. I can't let people read that shit, man. They think you're crazy. USF wouldn't be better than, they couldn't be better than Alabama. I can't even make up a sentence that makes sense on that. Chris Lacey, of course, it's Monday night, so Chris Lacey brings us the MLB Weekly Digest, the September 18th edition. Los Angeles Angels place Shohei Ohtani on the injured list. That's not the real story. Shohei emptied his locker out, took all his shit, and left the building. And people are wondering now if he left the organization. So we'll find out. We're talking about a man who's going to command $400 to $500 million if he goes somewhere else. So let's see how that goes. All that and more, of course, on NGSCsports.com, where we never stop. Please remember us on Facebook at NGSC Sports, on Twitter at NGSC Sports, on YouTube. Yeah, you figured it out, at NGSC Sports. Make sure to go to that YouTube page, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. One last note, got the email today. NGSC Sports is now at their newest university. I have been granted press credentials for the University of Memphis Tiger football. So I'll be traveling to Memphis for the rest of the season. For the last 4 home games of the season, I'll be sitting in the press box. I'll be making sure that my fat ass tries to not eat too much food in that press box, because I damn sure don't need it. But anyway, just pay attention to my write-up, man. I'll be writing up the University of Memphis football. Follow Memphis football, hopefully all the way to an AAC title, a bowl game, and beyond. All right, it's Tennessee Titans football. So the Titans come into this game 0-1. And last week, the brothers did not hide their feelings about one Ryan Tannehill. And he sucked. I mean, it was one of the worst games that you saw Ryan Tannehill play. And one of the things we talked about last week for the Titans to be, the many things we talked about, they needed to beat the Chargers. Number one, Ryan Tannehill couldn't play a game like that. He owned it in the press conference and basically also said that that would not be repeated. We're not going to say that everything was fixed, but it was better. That much we can say, it was better. It was a big 27-24 overtime win by the Tennessee Titans. And I'm going to run straight to the boys and start with Hudge. Yo, Hudge, man, tell me the good on that game. Oh, you know what? Nah, I'm going to do it this way. Even better than that. Never mind. Hold up. Dean, me and you going to take it. And like we talked about, then they going to take it. We got something for y'all. Dean, man, give me the good.
All right, man. Well, the main good that I saw in the game was the secondary. We watched the secondary actually show up. We didn't have, Keenan Allen still went for 111 yards. He tore us up for 2 touchdowns, but it's Keenan Allen.
Yeah, right.
At the end of the day, the way that because they didn't even try to run the ball. They mainly wanted to just throw it down our throats because of everything I heard. I'm not going to say that it looked a little bit better because Kristian Fulton didn't play. I wouldn't do anybody like that.
Who?
Who? Exactly. So
that motherfucker.
So, yeah, he didn't. But Murphy Button, I think, played a good game. And then you had
safety. Right.
Yeah, and then without Hooker even being in there, man, you can't can't deny that, man. It wasn't a situation where you just looked at them flying all up the field. It started off slow, but once the defensive line settled in, the secondary really came to play. And that's my good.
All right, here's my good. Yeah, Ryan Tannehill. But my good in this sense was the improved play calling. Now, it started off rough. Okay, started off rough. It started off 11-0, and then you start wondering, oh shit, here we go. But as the game progressed, and there's still a lot of work to do with the play calling, but as the game progressed, remember that my thing was this in the when we did our season preview 2 weeks ago, main thing was you got Henry, you got Spears. You got to utilize these two. You don't have to, Henry doesn't have to be the workhorse anymore. You got to utilize Tajay Spears. Treylon Burks has to do something. He's got to make plays. Plays were made. I like the way Henry was utilized. He didn't get 100 yards, okay? He didn't get 200 like you would want him to get. But he would utilize what? Tajay Spears, loved it. Loved it. Like I said, that you got to make sure to put this boy in the offense. And as it goes, little by little, incorporate him more. Find a way to mix plays in. Treylon Burks, man, listen, yo, in every sport, I got a motherfucker, man, that I just get on. And I've been getting on Treylon Burks since the day before he started game one of his career. I keep saying the same thing. Yo, Treylon, you came in to replace A.J. Brown. They picked you for a reason, and you ain't shown me shit. That bomb to Burks, couple of more catches for Burks. Hopefully, that made him feel better about himself. So I like what I saw in the play calling. Antoine, Zoe, I'm gonna go to you guys first. Of course, with you first, Antoine. Of course, Antoine and Zoe, they are at the games, at the home games, season ticket holders. They're sitting in their seats. They not only get to see the game, but they get the feel of the game. They get the feel of the crowd. You know, they get to see the sidelines, the body language. They get to see, we get to hear on TV the play-by-play, the analysis. They don't get any of that. All of that, y'all got to get all of that feel yourself while you're there. So, Antoine, the good.
Yeah, before I give my good, I want to comment. Can I comment on your Tannehill?
Yeah, of course.
So we were down, what was it, 11-0?
11-0.
I think about 8 minutes or so in the second quarter. You could see before the Titans went out on that drive, because Tannehill, he threw that 70-yard bomb to Burks, right? But before that play happened, Rabel was animated over there on the sideline, and Malik Willis was warming up. He was warming up. So, but that's going to be lost, but that's fine. The 70-yard play happened, and because it kind of felt like the Titans season, it felt like everything was on the line. And when he hit that big play, all was, it totally changed the momentum of the game. But my good, let me get to my good, Dylan Radins. Because Xavier Newman was trash, like just super garbage. He showed too quick sack, the fourth down sack, he just let the dude. We could have been out there doing that. Just hey, come on.
Free pass.
And with I didn't realize he was in the game until he had that late, I think, false start penalty. But I mean, his PFF grade was third highest on offense. So Dylan Radins is my, he gets a thumbs up from me. He's my good.
I like that. No, what's that
Hey,
good?
and just before I move to my good, just to touch on what he was saying, I was there at the game with Antoine, and there was definitely a conversation between Tannehill and Vrabel. Vrabel done brought the tablet over to him. He's talking to him, pointing at the tablet. Then eventually he gave Tannehill the tablet, and then he did some motions like that. Yeah, there was definitely something going on there. And Malik seemed to be a little bit more bouncy and prepared to try and go into the game. We even walked down there with the team before they walked on the field after that sack. But then Tannehill came out and hit that big pass, and that changed all that. Yeah. And so I truly believe that Malik was probably told to be ready just in case. And Tannehill, regardless of whether or not he was actually going to put Malik in the game, Vrabel was trying to light a fire in Tannehill.
Yep.
And because and I'm gonna go straight to my good because we won the fucking game after he had a piece of fire lit up under his ass and actually throwing the ball down the goddamn field. Because there were too many times early on in that first quarter, and a half, really, that Tannehill was missing. He's missing some open receivers. He had a couple sacks that was actually he got sacked 3 times early before things turned around for the Titans offense. And I'm gonna wait until we go to the next segment on that. But the good is the Titans have finally won a game for the first time since last November. 8 straight losses. I mean, as a Titans fan, that's hard to fucking deal with. I don't like this. I don't like becoming irrelevant. You know just how that's like the worst fear as a Titans fan. I'd rather be bad and let them still talk about us than when the Titans start losing. We're not like other teams. We become irrelevant. They stop. It's like we're an afterthought. They suddenly don't know anything about us. We become irrelevant. That's how they felt about the Titans coming into this season. The national pundits was irrelevancy. So a win, we had to get that under our belt, get that bad taste out of our mouth, and having it to go against the AFC opponent as opposed to winning it last week against the Saints. You said we're going to 1-on-1. Yes, definitely give me the Chargers win because we're trying to be in some type of playoff race. But still need to see some continued consistency out of Tannehill. And when we go to the next segment, I'll break down a little bit more.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. What both of y'all are talking about, because obviously, like I said, we don't get to see. We watching on TV don't get to see what you see in the stands. And when I was talking to my brother earlier in the day, he was telling me what Twan was saying too. Like, here we are, week 2, and already you guys, and I can imagine how many people felt the same way. We're looking at the sidelines, and when you tell me Malik Willis is warming up in the first half of week 2, not going through the normal drills that they go through, each quarterback on one end, one quarterback on this end, quarterback on this end, they throwing it to somebody who's handing it so that they can keep warming up. But y'all telling me, like Antoine, defining moment, like, damn, in week 2, and it's something that you said that because at 11-0, I literally said to myself, yo, 0-2.
Because we had 3 drives and -3 yards. It was atrocious. It was a continuation.
Felt like
Right.
it was over.
Quarter wasn't a continuation from last week. Go ahead, Dean.
It just felt like it was over. I mean, just me watching the game, it felt like it was already over.
Right. It was like, wow, so the fact that y'all say that you felt that way and it felt that way. By the way, for those that are watching, number one, thank you for joining us. This is the Everything Titans podcast. You got comments, you got questions, you want to talk shit, bring it. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're here for. We can go ahead and address your comments and your questions. But for y'all to say that, man, that's a trip. Because it's like, man, that quick. So imagine, because Tannehill knows, okay? Tannehill knows. The pressure is on him like nobody else on this football team. Like nobody else. We talked about it 2 weeks ago in the season preview. Tannehill has been able to accomplish enough, and sometimes so much, with a lack of talent and a lack of weapons. That is only going to get you so far in the NFL. Well, you know what that's going to get you? That's going to get you a regular season, maybe a playoff berth, and if not a playoff berth and a quick exit. That's not going to get you anything. We talked 2 weeks ago about, again, the weapons now that he has, and that he doesn't have an excuse anymore. So that's something to hear y'all say that. I mean, because again, he didn't have a stellar game. Obviously, he didn't. But he did finish 20 of 24, 246 yards, a touchdown. He did not have a pick, and he had a quarterback rating of 123.3.
Let me go next. Yes, that's all good. That's good, Tannehill. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're talking about good stuff, good Tannehill, good win. Yes, clap,
Are
clap,
you
applaud,
saying you
applaud,
want bad? Are you saying you want the bad now?
applaud, applaud. And I'm happy for the W, and I don't want to take it, I ain't taking it for granted. And I'm just saying, got to see a little bit more. And so going to the bad for me was the slow offensive start. That slow offensive start. And just as you said, it's on Tannehill this year. It's on Tannehill this year. We have offensive coordinator who actually called plays instead of boozing up on the. I ain't gonna say that. That's ain't gonna slander the man. Instead of you know, doing what he's supposed to be doing, getting through to his teammate. I mean, get through his team and his players. Too busy. I'm gonna leave Todd Drowning alone. Okay, I'm sorry. All right. So anyway, he knows how to call plays. And we have some receivers out there. We have some threats. You have players that are open. That the scheme is good. The movement from sideline to sideline is good. It's all on Tannehill now. It's all on Tannehill. They can't blame the offensive line is protecting better. Yes, they have some flaws, but it's protecting better than they did last year. And you got some receivers to throw to. They're actually getting open. And the bad is these slow starts can't keep happening like this, Tannehill. And because part of the slow starts is you, because you're checking down to receivers. Too many times you're checking down to receivers when there's a play to be made down the field. So you talk about Tannehill's stats. Tannehill's stats is 20 of 246, okay? 20 of 24 for 246. He was 7 for 9 for 168 yards on play action. You take out the play action, then he was 13 of 15 for 78 yards without the play action. All right. So he had two big plays, as we talked about, the 70-yard play, to Burks, and then he had a 49-yard play to Chris Moore, which is a spectacular catch. I mean, I applaud Chris Moore on that catch. I mean, that's the type of plays we need to see from our receivers all year long, stretching out, diving, making that catch. But you take away those two plays, and you're talking about Tannehill is 18 of 22 for 127 yards. He's missing open receivers opportunities down the field, checking down too early, settling. Okay, the first sack was really on Dillard. Chig, they had Chig in the chip on the left side, and Dillard was supposed to watch the inside. He went to go help on Chig on the chip, and the guy ran right by him, sacked Tannehill. Tannehill had no time. Now, in the second sack that Tannehill received, they ran a stunt on Xavier Newman. And by the way, this was his last play. He was yanked out the game after this play. But that was on third down, and they ran a stunt. They got to Tannehill, but Tannehill technically at the top of his drop, he boom, boom, boom. He had a man. Nick Westbrook had been brought into motion because this is the scheme. Nick Westbrook had been brought into motion, and he took off with nobody on him. And when Tannehill got at the top of his drop, he could have released that ball. Instead, he did this right here, and then he tried to step up, sack. It's all over. Even though they ran a stunt on him, he still had time. He had a play to be made, and that's the type of stuff that was happening early on in the game, contributed to these slow starts. And then you had that obviously that third sack, he should have got rid of the ball. He should have got rid of the ball. He had Vrabel pissed. Like, why are you running backpedaling towards the goal line? Damn near got a safety. You should have been there throwing that ball away. Why are you holding on to that ball? And that's why he had that conversation on the sideline that kind of led to trying to light a spark under him, a lot of fire under him with by telling Malik. He probably told it in front of, Vrabel, he don't give a fuck. He don't give a he probably said, hey, Malik, get ready just in case. Because Tannehill looked like he was upset after Vrabel walked away.
Okay, Twan, bad.
Left side of the offensive line, left guard, left tackle. Zoe just mentioned Dillard. According to the stats, he gave up 3 sacks. And then we know what Newman did. So between those two, I think that's the 5 sacks right there. Yeah, so when hopefully Skoronski, prayers to him is dealing with, or I saw reports with appendicitis. I don't know if he had surgery or not. But when we get him back, maybe move him to tackle, and then let Radens be the guard. I don't know. I mean, because Dillard, huh?
Or
Or
put Raiders out there at left tackle.
or switch
Natural position.
or switch them. Yeah, let Raiders be the tackle, and hey, let's see. It can't look any worse than what we're seeing right now, right? I don't think.
I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and do a shameless plug for the Everything Titans. I did a Everything Titans little test run podcast, and actually, Nick Bosa had gotten signed for that $170 million contract. Coincidentally, we're talking about Dylan Raiders that came back from the ACL injury much earlier than anybody expected. Not only that, he's been thrust into game action already, and he performed pretty well. We're talking about the same dude that made Nick Bosa move to the other side of the defensive line because he couldn't deal with Dylan Raiders. And if you go through our channel on the Everything Titans podcast playlist, you'll see a little excerpt in there where I talk about that the $170 million man versus Dylan Raiders. But continue on, Hudson. Yes, Raiders. I liked him. Go ahead. That was good.
The coach gave him praise after the game. I mean, but so basically, what was I? The bad is left side of the line that they need to change something up. Moving forward.
Dean, what's your bad, cuz?
My bad is honestly offensive play call. And this is just think of this as a Titan fan, just how we're looking at this. We have a quarterback that went 20 for 20 for 246 yards. And none of us on this panel are impressed. If you watch that game, nothing about that seemed like it was anything defiant, as if we have something that we can move with forward. As Zoe said, if you take away those two long plays, he's down to 18 completions for under 160 yards. It doesn't make any sense. And then if you look at the run, and Zoe, you can probably help me with this. We got a big power back in Derrick Henry. He got 25 carries, 83 yards. You only gave Tajay 8 other carries. I told y'all last week, I wanted that down about 20 for Henry, a couple of passes, maybe a couple of screens, but I want to bring his carries down, bring Tajay's up. What in the hell is the reason why every time you about to hand the ball off to Derrick Henry, given you got a couple of play actions later, why when you're about to hand the ball off to Derrick Henry, we're always in these bunch tight ends, 3 or 4. You put our offense literally puts 10 in the box before they hand it to fucking Derrick Henry. We ain't got a receiver on the right side. Ain't nobody spread out. And we got 3 tight ends and Hopkins standing on the sideline, and then we just gonna throw this nigga up the middle. No spread, no formation, no cut. It's just that, and then we ain't got a line, so now we just gonna beat our line. Just supposed to beat them. The play calling and the set up of the run game to me bad. You got to give Derrick Henry some fucking space.
Yeah, we got to give him some space. Now,
Spears need more touches. He does. Yeah. I mean, and not to take anything away from Henry, but you're right. 8 for his talent, that's not enough.
Before I do my bad,
my fault, Ralph. And did you see, Twan? Did you see how that little 8-yard, 12-yard run that he got on that first down? And Spears was pissed off, nigga, give me this ball.
It looked like he had nothing. It looked like they had him at 3-4 yards, and then it's just all of a sudden, whoa, man.
He got a bad pissed off.
Yep. Before I do my bad, one of the things the thing that I, myself, and my partner, John Doucette, I'm most proud of at NGSC Sports is being able to help make dreams come true. One of the things we love doing is, we have interns, and we get interns that are in college who, of course, give us free content. And in return, what we do is we have them cover football teams. We have kids who have gone into press boxes who've never been there before, who've been on football fields after a bowl game. I can't tell you the feeling of what it's like to go to a college football game, and at the 5-minute mark, you're told in the press box you can now go on the field. I remember the first time I did it, Notre Dame LSU at a bowl game, and I'm on the football game, on the football field, on the Notre Dame sideline, watching Notre Dame come down the field and the feeling and the reaction of the coaches and the players as it's happening, the games. So we get to make dreams come true. And some of our alumni have gone on to do big things. One, for example, Jamie Council. She is a graduate of Minot College in Minot, North Dakota, excuse me. And she now is the owner and CEO of Intangible Media out in the state of Washington, doing great things. Josh Zimmer, a defensive line coach at a D3 school, defensive coordinator over there, a recruiting coordinator. So many. Now, we've been talking about Ryan Tannehill, so I have a guy here who also happens to be an NGSC sports alumni. His name is Treylon Davenport. He is now the ESPN. He covers the Tennessee Titans for ESPN. And I just want to share what Treylon thinks about Ryan Tannehill.
All right.
I think I did this wrong, guys. Thank God I get to do this again. Hold on. Let's try that again. Why the hell that didn't work? I don't know. Share screen, share sound, share. Let's go back here. And I don't know why we don't have sound for Treylon.
Hey, your tab, it's not muted, is it?
Let's find out. Unmute site. All right. We're going to go ahead and do this again here while we're on the screen. It's all right. That's the beauty of this, is we can do it right here. That's Antoine's fault because he told me to mute the site.
Last week, though.
The Titans snapped an 8-game losing streak with a 27-24 win over the Chargers today. It was their first victory since last November. Some key takeaways starting with Ryan Tannehill in the play-action passing game. He was really efficient in that. 7 out of 9, 168 yards, and 1 touchdown pass, which was, again, a play-action throw to Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. Tannehill's 2 biggest plays came on play action as well. A 70-yard bomb to Treylon Burks, a 49-yard throw to Chris Moore, both of which were key momentum changers and put the Titans in position to score touchdowns. Overall, Tannehill had 246 passing yards. The red zone was another area where the Titans were much more effective than last week. There were 3 out of 4 on red zone visits. Mike Vrabel said a lot of that was functioning well and down the distance, being able to stay ahead of the chains. And one of those touchdowns came on a 12-yard run by Ryan Tannehill, something that we hadn't seen in quite some time. It was an option call as well. We're going to wrap this up with the defense and specifically the secondary. There was a pump fake. Justin Herbert found Keenan Allen for a touchdown. And then also you had the 49-yard play where Allen was able to beat Sean Murphy-Bunting. But when it mattered the most, even though the Titans gave up another 300-yard passing performance, that secondary held it down, forced the Chargers to a 3-and-out, and that set up Nick Folk, who Jeffrey Simmons called Old Granddad, to come out and kick the 41-yard field goal for the win in overtime. Next up for the Titans, the Cleveland Browns on the road.
All right, that's a take from Treylon Davenport. Got your message, bro. We'll find out. Here's my bad. And it's been my bad probably for a couple of years now.
The next 4 weeks, fellas, they're on the road for 3 at the Niners, then at the Dolphins, at the Burks, with a visit from the
See what
Seahawks
happened, man,
squeezed in
when
the
you
middle.
fuck around with Antoine and the damn mute and shit? See what happens? I'm telling you, boy, let's try to remember to unmute next time. So, hey, you got to unmute, Dean, because you talking shit. We got to hear the shit you talking. Okay. So here's my bad. The secondary. You know how I get so sick and tired of watching teams carve up our secondary, whether it's short, intermediate passes, watching Herbert just, drive after drive. When you want that stop, you're like, it's time to get a stop. And the Chargers came down the field to take the lead. And it's like, too many times you see a play where there's too much cushion. The coverage wasn't right. A guy's playing behind the, it's like too much of that, too much of that, too much of that. And so I keep wondering, you talk about Byard. By the way, I saw a couple of plays where Byard himself was beat, flat out beat. You know, it's like, when does this secondary come together and get that stop? So there's my bad. That's the bad I just keep having.
I did unmute for this, if you don't mind. You went after my good, so I got to go after your bad right there, Ralph. Now, first of all, of course, Byard, only time Byard gets beat is when he's overcompensating. He has to overcompensate for the other people out there, and it didn't look like he had to do it too much because Kristian Fulton wasn't out there. But I digress. But Chris, I don't remember some dude named Kristian. I don't know if he Kristian. I don't care what his religion is, but his name Kristian. So
he wasn't there yesterday.
Call him Zoe's boy.
Yeah, Zoe boy. So if you look at what Molden and McCrary did, and I don't have a bad thing to say about Murphy Bunting. We have to understand we dealt with a elite offensive passing game. That offensive passing game is elite. By the grace of God, Eckler wasn't out there, but that passing game is elite. And then we were focused on the run, kept Kelly down to under 40 yards, so they couldn't even move the ball on the ground. But we have to understand that that was an elite passing attack, and we slowed them down the same way we need to understand that that is a trash-ass defense. So Tannehill 20 for 24 don't mean shit.
Let me attack both of y'all bad. First off, Ralph, since we already on your bad, let me attack your bad. We're missing our hooker. Yes. Go ahead. Yeah, we're missing our money hooker. We missed Kristian Fulton. For as much as you want to talk about him, he's still.
Nobody missed Fulton.
No, we don't miss Fulton.
But what you got to understand is this is the different offensive play calling that's going on in San Diego. We know that the Dallas Cowboys offensive coordinator Kellen Moore came over and he done taken over calling these plays, and he's much more big. He's bigger on the run and the play action setup. So to that degree.
Hold on, so wait a minute.
He tried to call a game,
but not running the ball. And then he came out.
He didn't get fired. He didn't get fired.
He still didn't run the ball.
He didn't get fired. He requested to leave.
Got his ass out of there.
He wanted to go.
He wanted to go. McCarthy wants to call plays. What?
He wanted to go. He wanted to go somewhere so he can have more control over the offense because he's trying to become a head coach. So he wanted to go. He got tired of McCarthy neutering him. And so you talk about these receiving corps to San Diego. They got this receiving corps: Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Everett's a good tight end. He's a good pass catcher tight end, causes mismatch problems. Then you got the rookie Quentin Johnson, who's got they have Palmer out there too. Like they have, and then they have Justin Herbert throwing the ball. Don't be too hard on our secondary. It could have been a lot worse. We've been torched by quarterbacks like Justin Herbert in the past. So, and you can't say it's all on the pass rush because the pass rush disappeared in this fucking second half. So, now, Dean, you're talking about the play calling. You roasting the play calling of our new offensive coordinator. Yes, there's a couple times. Yes, I'm like, yeah, I wish you would spread it out a little bit more for Derrick Henry, but it ain't like he did that every single time. This is a different offense than what you'd rather have our previous offense looking out there. I mean, yes, we need to open up more holes for Derrick Henry, but Vrabel said himself that if we ever get somebody, he was talking about Spears when he said this, if we ever get somebody to block for Spears, he's going to be dangerous. They're not really blocking for Derrick Henry. They were in the backfield the whole goddamn game. It's not like the run blocking has not been great.
All crash blocking, downhill blocking, instead of just doing it like just a simple, I mean, you could do some cracks, you could do some slides, just a simple movement to allow Derrick Henry to open up space and find some holes. That cramming it down your fucking throat running attack is over with. You got to spread it out. So then sometimes when you got it spread out, you got 3 receivers out there, you can utilize the play action even more, and it opens it up even more. I don't understand.
I think Antoine wants to attack Ralph based off what he just posted in the chat. I think he wants to attack Ralph's claim on against the secondary, because what he posted out there, you're finna go ahead and get him. Go ahead and get. Let's pile on the host day.
No, it's just comments. I understand
Damn, what's up with
because
that?
I share your frustration with the amount of yardage we give up, but in the end, to me, the stats don't matter. Like we can, if we're gonna be that bend but not break, then let's do that, right? I know it's cliched, but we had the secondary had the stops to force the field goal at the end of the game, and then their drive, the first drive in overtime for the Chargers. The secondary did, and I think it was three straight passes, if I remember correctly, that they defended on. So the secondary, they're not perfect, but when you look at these grades and what we saw with our eyes, you know, they step up when needed. They make plays when needed.
And I got a question for Zoe and Twan, being that y'all were at the game. Did it seem like there was more zone or more man that was taking effect in the secondary during this game?
I think of what I noticed, and I could be wrong, but because of how they were playing off, it was a lot of cushion. I was like, it seemed like they were maybe in the zone, and for the life of me, I couldn't figure out.
They had some man going on. They had some man going on some of the routes of some of the players, but it wasn't completely a man. It was a lot of zone passing off on the drag routes, passing off to the next man. But there were times where they manned it up too. So
what about Al Shire? Oh, it seemed like Al Shire was very deep in coverage a lot yesterday.
Yeah, so they had to have somebody to guard. Everett in the middle, and then when that wasn't Byard, and looking at these numbers that is put up here, that Trey Avery looked like he was attacked often. Like he was attacked. He was targeted 15 times.
Oh, sure.
For 12 catches. No,
Yeah.
Trey Avery, the cornerback.
Yeah,
He was targeted 15 times, 12 catches, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. Outside of that, the rest of the secondary seemed to hold their own. They had a clear plan of who they was going to attack and go after in this game. They had a clear plan. It was attack Trey Avery.
Well, I mean,
last week was attack Kristian Fulton. This week was attack Trey Avery.
I mean, yeah, they didn't have Fulton out there, so yeah, I guess they had to make the next thing.
No Fulton. So yeah, the Avery is the weakest link. They got to go after the weakest link. Right? I mean, that's how you scheme, right? That's how you draw up the game plan. You want to attack, the weakest person, right? Or at least you should. If you're not, then why are you in the league? Right? You just hard on yourself. Yeah.
Well, Twan
gave
McCreary
six targets at McCreary. Gave up 3 catches, 28 yards. Sean Murphy Bunn, 5 targets to him, 3 catches, 36 yards. Kevin Byard gave up 3 catches for 64 yards. I know I was talking about how he got beat on that one play.
Aziz Shearer gave up 1 reception for 11 yards. That's it. But on 1 target. It's right. So I guess he was doing a good enough job in coverage not to get it thrown his way, right? So yeah, he was.
Yeah, it seemed like he was stepping back, like he wasn't attacking the run a lot because they wanted him to help out pass coverage. That's why I asked about the zone and shit like that.
Twan gave us a PFF top 5 as well. Cornerback Sean Murphy Button, 84.1. Safety Mike Brown, 81.6. Big Jeff, 75.4. Roger McCreary at 73.6. And Aziz Al-Shahir, 71.7.
That's the secondary, man, with them 80s, Ralph. That's the secondary with them 80s, money.
You know what? I don't give a shit about that. I don't give a shit about that. When I see the opposing quarterback being able to pick and choose where he wants to throw the football and moving his team down the fucking field, I don't give a damn what your damn grade is.
It does make your stomach turn, though. You're
Like, I'm saying, because those grades, like, correct me if I'm wrong, those grades are overall grades, right? Right? Those are overall grades for the game, right, Antoine?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't give a fuck what you did overall while I'm busy watching y'all's asses allow the Chargers, the opposing team, to drive down the field at a moment. Look, if the final score was 27-10, you don't hear shit from me about that. I might say something about, oh, well, but it was 27-10, we whooped their ass anyway. 27-24, and you coming to a point in time where you're looking for the defense for that stop, and they don't that stop.
It's like taking a test. It's like taking a test, and yeah, you passed the test, but you missed 3 of the easiest fucking questions on the motherfucker. Like, what the fuck are you really listening to?
Hey, we took a long ride. Right, into the country. It was a sweet ride. Now, along the ride, and we was in my car, and along the ride, somebody sideswiped my lack. Now, we had a good time. I was happy to be with my brother and my little cousin, but guess what? They fucked up, man. Somebody sideswiped my motherfucking car. That's how I feel about them PFF grades, okay? That's how grades. Fuck all that bullshit. When I need you to make a stop, make a fucking stop. Make a stop. It's been happening.
So you feel like John Robinson in a way, you know what I'm saying? Damn the analytics, you know what I'm saying? I don't give a fuck about no numbers.
I'm not an analytics guy. I don't come from that place. I don't come from that place.
So you are the analytics, is what you're saying. Is that what it is? You are the analytics.
No, I'm not.
You are the analytics. You don't need analytics, so you analyze yourself. It's just all you.
No,
your eyes don't ever make mistakes. They don't ever get tricked.
You play the game.
Man, Ralph.
You can come up with the analytics. So what is analytics telling me? What is analytics telling me? What you gonna do at a certain point? What play I should pick at a certain time? You know something? When shit is happening live, like here I am. I'm a rob a bank. I'm a bank robber. I'm a bank robber. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna go ahead and get stats as to what time you actually go in the door, what time you pull the gun, what time you tell everybody to get on the floor. You know what? When shit is happening live, that shit don't mean nothing. That shit don't mean nothing because analytics don't work all the time. Why you think the games will play without analytics for fucking decades? Now all of a sudden it's fucking analytics. I'm not saying it shouldn't play in the game. I'm just saying.
You know why? You know why it has to? You know why it has a place? And you can't just completely just disregard and ignore these analytics. I don't want to completely disregard it. That was a song. That was a song by the Ghetto Boys back in the day. Was late 80s, early 90s. Don't. Because your mind be playing tricks on you. Your mind be playing tricks on you. Your eyes play tricks on you too. You know you're getting old, Ralph. Stop it. You can't. Sometimes you got to go back and verify with the analytics.
Analytics is playing tricks on me. That's what the fuck is playing. I go through the same shit on the baseball show with baseball analytics. In baseball now, a pitcher don't throw 100 pitches. You don't pitch no more than 7 innings. What?
But see, here's why the analytics matter.
Let them keep going.
Look. We're talking about Tannehill, right? We're talking about Tannehill. If somebody just threw out, Titans won the game. Tannehill was 20 of 24, 246. You would completely change your tune on Tannehill. But you know what? I didn't just completely change my tune because I went and did some analytics. The analytics tell me that there is more to it than just Tannehill went out there 20 or 24 for 246 yards and a touchdown. There's a lot more to it. There's a lot more to it. And he ain't finna be out here fooling me because he turned it around for one game. I need to see more out of Tannehill on a consistent basis. That's why you got to look at the analytics.
I ain't gonna let these IT dudes, man, jump you like that. I ain't finna jump you right now while I'm here. I ain't finna allow no sirree.
I got something for his ass. Go ahead.
Go get him now. I'm just making sure. Yeah.
Okay. Hold on a second. Help me out. Help me out here. What impression did I give you when I was reading the stats? I gave you an impression. I was just reading the fucking stats. I didn't get no impression.
Mhm.
You didn't hear me. You didn't hear me. You didn't hear no. You didn't see balloons.
No, not
popping
you.
off.
We're not talking about you. We're not talking about you in particular. We're saying this is what I'm saying. This is why you cannot ignore the analytics, because there's a lot of people out here looked at this one game by telling you a fool.
I can't ignore analytics. That's why I'm not a GM. That's why I'm not a head coach. That's why I'm not a scout, because I can't ignore analytics and they play in the game. What I'm saying is play the fucking game. Sometimes you look at the analytics. Let me tell you something. I grew up in a time, Dan Marino, Joe Montana, Terry Bradshaw. You tell a motherfucker analytics, man, they would throw that football in your face. Say, fuck you and your damn analytics. I'm going out there and play this fucking game. I know what I'm doing out there on the field. Analytics. It's hard for me with this damn analytics shit. But I know it. I know what happened. Hey,
And I know which one they like, you can't deny the numbers. And I feel you what you can't deny the numbers, but at the same time, as I said, I'll give you this. We talk about Treylon Burks. This is what he's talking about. He had that one play for, I think, 70
yards.
And then, but he only got 3 catches for like 78. Like,
yeah, that was it. One play. So, I was happy. Right.
Yeah,
right.
Don't. But at the same time, when they dialed that up, whatever Tim Kelly was feeling, I felt it when he went back to pass. Like, this thing is finna bomb. And then the feeling with the course of what's going on in the game. So yeah, I'm like, fuck the numbers, because that feeling had him dial up the perfect play call at the perfect time to change the whole dynamic.
Right. And I want to point out it was play action. And what has Tannehill? He's been efficient when he had his when Arthur Smith was here. It was play action. Play action. We harped on Todd Downing, like, where's the play action? Where's the play action? I mean, yeah, there was injuries, whatever. But at least it seemed like Tim Kelly gets it. He understands that that's a strength of this particular player. So let's incorporate more of it into the offense. Because
breaking news. While we're having our show, Everything Titans. The Titans' next opponent next week is the Cleveland Browns. And I just want to break a little bit of news here. Nick Chubb has been carted off the field. He is out of the game and doesn't look good. He reached for his ankle, calf muscle area, and they had to cart him off the field. And we'll pay attention for updates. All prayers be to Nick Chubb and his family, and I hope he's okay. But they could be out. They could be without a major weapon next week.
Man.
And let's get back to the show.
Yeah, damn. That's rough right there. You don't wish that on anybody, but we'll take whatever we can get, right? All right. So before we go to the ugly, what I want to get, hey Twan, man, talk about, this is what I tell my writers. When we get a writer, I go through what we're looking for in a writer. And like I tell a writer, we're not going to change your content. I want you to write it the way you want to write it. I'll edit it from there. But tell me, especially when you're in the press box, don't just tell me about the game. So Antoine, I'm going to tell you what I tell a writer, because don't just tell me about the game. Tell me about the feel in the stands in the first quarter. Ryan Tannehill got 11 yards passing in the first quarter. It's 11-0. Everything looks like it's going to shit real quick. Y'all peeping the sidelines, right? And you're looking at what's going on, what you told us with Malik Willis, and it's looking like, oh shit, Vrabel might be saying, fuck this, man. And I think he did that to fire up Tannehill. And by the way, it worked. But what I want to know is the feeling in the stands, the feeling from the fan, what you were seeing and what you was feeling, Hudge.
Yeah, it was. I remember, I mean, we were quiet. I mean, Chargers fans in front of us making a little noise, but it really wasn't nothing to cheer. And I want to say part of that was, too, I remember, what was it, maybe our first or second possession when we went for it on that 4th and 4, I think it was. I mean, I saw the down and distance. I was like, I'm okay with the call, but I didn't understand why. I mean, it's early in the game. And the reason I'm saying that, I mean, obviously, hindsight 2020, but the Chargers scored, that's 3 points off that. That was 3 points. So that was 11. That was 3 of that 11 that we were down. So, it's just, like I said, the feeling in my head was, but before that, with Malik warming up on the sideline, I'm thinking, oh, I guess this is it. Tannehill still, stinking it up. This is the season right here. So they're going to just put the young bucks in and see what we got. That's kind of, it felt like, it literally, to me, felt like the season was on the line during that drive.
Hold on, Joe. Before you go, Joe, of course, this is Everything Titans. It is the Tennessee Titans podcast on NGSC Sports. Please remember the website. It is ngscsports.com, where you catch all of your current content. Check us out on Facebook at NGSC Sports. Twitter, I'm not going to call it X, at NGSC Sports. And YouTube at NGSC Sports. Make sure you go to YouTube, like the page, hit the subscribe button. Keep on checking us out throughout the season. So, go.
And to add to Antoine what he was saying, there were a lot of fans upset in the crowd. You can sense their negative energy. You heard fans talking about throw the ball. You heard several fans. It wasn't just me and Antoine sitting there seeing that there's a receiver open, there's a play that could be made, and he is taking a sack or checking it down. There was, after that sack near the end zone, where he close to like 2-3 yard line or whatever, that pass that Vrabel got really upset with him about, or lack of a pass. At that moment in time, the crowd booed Tannehill off the field. And I believe there was a light boo earlier in the game, but that boo was much louder. The fans, they booed.
That's why I want. And Dean, man, I'm gonna go to me and you watching the game on the TV, man, because I'm watching the game and I'm looking like, what the hell? I mean, you saw what happened last week, right? And we thinking, well, we looking to see an improvement. And it started off for a moment there even worse than last week started off. And at 11-0, I don't hear shit in the stands, Dean, while I was watching the TV, man. And I'm thinking, yo, I mean, it's not just 0-2, because I'm already thinking 0-2, but it wasn't just the 0-2. But I was remembering what Joe was saying weeks ago when he was like, the Titans start 1-5 or whatever. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about 1-5? And all of a sudden in my head, I'm thinking, holy shit, man, was that prophecy or what, man? Because I'm looking 0-2, Dean, and I'm thinking, man, this might be going south quick.
I'm talking about, I was scared in so many ways. I ain't even brought that. I remember just even at the end of the game, as soon as Nick Folk about to kick that damn kick, Zoe talking about Nick Folk, and it started raining. I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like,
I know that too.
Did it again. I said, did it.
Oh man, the feeling in the stands when it started raining.
Because it just started hard. It was like
on TV, they showed the flag. They showed the flag.
Yeah, it's raindrops.
When it started whipping, I'm like, wait a minute, what the fuck?
I'm talking about that feeling in the first quarter, man, when you just sit there, man. I done did everything that morning, man. I'm watching that. I put me a couple minutes in. I'm getting everything started. It was just disheartening because with Tannehill on the field, you can have Derrick Henry, Burks, Hopkins. You can have all that, but we feel like the void of talent. We feel like we're missing what other teams have. And it's not, we can equate it to play calling. We can equate it to, injuries, where we're at as a team in a whole, but it just feels like we're already behind the 8 ball as soon as we get started. And that 11-0 just had me I felt horrible until I didn't feel great on the comeback. No, but I was just thinking about Zoe and Twan. I was just like, man, you know how many times I've been down to that stadium and they keep me there down to the very last play. Now all of a sudden still lost, and I still got to fight traffic. That shit, man.
Look,
Hey,
I
that
have
shit
my
just-
son's
And walking
birthday
back in the
dinner to
rain.
get to, and these fools want to go to
Walking back in
overtime.
the rain. Oh, I would have been sick, homie.
Nah, hold up, man. Dean brought up a good point. A good point right there, because I mean that doom and gloom feeling, I was feeling that, right? I was really feeling that and thinking like, damn, man. And it got so bad so fast. And by the way, when you brought up the rain too, that tripped me the fuck out, because it started raining here in Nashville. And I looked out the window and said, well, it's not raining in Clarksville. I turned back to the TV, they showed the picture of the flags blowing. I was like, oh damn, the wind all of a sudden. And we driving down.
Walk looked out the. They said it was raining. Walk looked out the window and it wasn't raining. He 10 minutes from the stadium and it wasn't raining.
and I was like, wait a minute, man. We trying to set up for a winning field goal. Are we gonna have to go in the end zone now? And then when Nick Folk came out, I'm come on, man. You done been here before. But it worked out. It worked out. So all right, we get to that part now where we talk about the ugly, and I'm gonna start off the ugly. My ugly goes to one of y'all's bads. I believe Antoine, you're bad. The offensive line. Listen, if Ryan Tannehill, we need a whole lot more out of Ryan Tannehill. Okay, we all agree on that. The 20 of 24 doesn't impress us. The fact that he had a better game, that's good, but we still need a whole lot more. But Lord Almighty, you can't open a door for the defensive lineman and tell them, like Antoine was saying, welcome, like, come on, like, go. I mean, hell, that the Chargers were blitzing. They were coming after him. And he, even when he was completing the ball and getting rid of the ball, he was under a lot of pressure. And I'm like, okay, Skaronski was out, so he didn't get to play. But I'm like, yo, man, we got to get better protection. Got to get better protection. But that was my ugly, man. Zoe, ugly.
I agree with you. Got to get better protection. Dillard got to figure something out. My ugly. I guess you could say it's ugly. It's ugly. It was beautiful to me. So it's like one of them type of uglies that you can't stop staring at it.
It's
Can't
ugly.
stop.
Beautiful to him. I got to hear this shit.
Yeah, you just can't stop staring at it. You know what I'm saying? When the national media talk about the Titans the way they do, be ready to just dismiss a whole team because of one player, dismiss a whole coaching staff because of one player. You get things like the Chargers. Everybody's taking the Chargers. The Chargers are going to whoop the shit out of the Titans. The Titans are no match for Justin Herbert in this offense. There's no way Vrabel doesn't have enough answers. Tannehill is trash. He's too horrible. But what team is currently 0-2? What teams head coach is snapping at the media at post-game pressers, getting all snooty with his responses because he's 0-2. And you know what? He's supposed to be a defensive coach. At Tannehill and the offense, they beat them. And he's supposed to be a defensive coach. His defense looks like trash back-to-back weeks. Miami, he let Tua and Hill torch him. Next thing you know, come in this week, ain't like we got any deep burners, but 70-yard ball, 49-yard pass.
Spending too much money.
So now, that's the ugly. It was beautifully ugly. The way he was snapping at those reporters and getting all snooty and in your feelings with making that ugly little face. It was beautiful to watch, but it was ugly. Ugly for them.
Like, D, ugly.
All right, man. And I know everybody on this panel is going to feel me. I mean, anybody that really truly watches the Titans on a consistent basis is going to understand this. My ugly is the referees. We can't get a fucking call ever, man.
No Tennessee team.
All of us watch fucking football, bro. All of us watch football. And we watch all this shit. We got Monday Night Football on the background, man. We watch this shit, man. Our Titans only come on in one block. It's 2 more blocks on Sunday. We got Monday Night Football and we got Thursday. So we watching 5, 6, 7, 8 games a week. Niggas like me got red zone. I'm watching all type of shit. Nobody has the more missed calls in a game than the fucking Tennessee Titans. And like, just to point out what Zoe is just saying, yeah, the commentators, everybody saying it's over. Nigga, the refs listening to that shit too. Them motherfuckers is already predetermined. Oh, no, he caused a fumble. No, he didn't. It's the Titans. Oh, he got both feet in bounds. Nigga, please, it's the Titans. He held somebody. He had to. It's the Titans. No, he didn't. Yes, he did. The fuck is going on, man? It is a fucking pandemic with these calls, man. That's my fucking ugly, man. This shit is outrageous.
It is. It's sick. It's sick. We've had conversations offline about how it's across. You think obviously it's insane to be a conspiracy, but when you look that it happens across all Tennessee sports, whether it's hockey, basketball, college football, pro football, it's insane.
Cheap brothers in Tennessee, man. They don't fuck with us.
It's insane.
We cheap brothers, man. They don't fuck with us.
It's insane.
Hudge?
I'm a little bit frustrated right now. I had lots to say, and I looked over at the screen. George Pickens' 71-yard touchdown reception. I got him on my fucking bench in fantasy football, and I could have won this week if I had him in the game. Anyway, yeah, it was
ugly, and it's funny.
It was so. Oh, go ahead.
My ugly was kind of related to what Dean. I was going to say the penalties. You know, we had 7 penalties. And with the way we play, right? You know, the way of the style, the way our coach likes to play, we can't shoot ourselves in the foot, right? So I would like to see us clean that up a little bit going into next week. So it didn't hurt us, you know, it didn't hurt us this week, but since we don't get calls, we can't be out there, you know what I'm saying, committing penalties and putting ourselves behind the 8 ball.
Yeah, shooting ourselves in the foot.
Yeah, we just can't do it. Yeah,
it's so
we're not
sick.
good enough. We're not a good enough team to commit penalties and still win. Yeah.
It's so sick. It's so sick that on that play where your boy caught the touchdown pass and had to review it multiple times, see if it's a touchdown, and they called it no touchdown to see if he dragged his foot. We almost assumed that, you know, that they would call that a touchdown because that's what they do against the Titans. And then when you think about it, there might have been the same damn play where Jeffrey Simmons they called a personal foul, low to hit. Jeffrey Simmons put his hand, he was rushing the passer, and he was getting ready to cock a throw. He put his hand up to try and block the pass, got pushed in the back by 2 offensive linemen, and because of that push, he accidentally swiped Herbert on the head. Instead of offensive holding, personal foul, touchdown. But
on that too, remember, not only did they call the personal foul on Simmons, but it was pass interference on us.
Yes, and pass interference. Yeah.
We was like, okay, whatever. We was like, yeah, that's
sick of it.
I like
sick of it. Yeah, sick of it.
All right, so next week we got the Cleveland Browns. Of course, Joe's already told us that Nick Chubb has gone out.
It's big.
Of course, Deshaun Watson now at the helm of the Cleveland Browns. And, you know, this is Steelers score again. Steelers have gone up. Steelers is putting up points here on the Browns. Speaking of the Browns.
I'm just looking at trying to see what they're doing. Prime Roof do anything?
Is the Browns game, are we going to Cleveland for that one?
Yes. Because week 4 we're home with Cincinnati, but yes.
Okay, so we're going to Cleveland next week, and we're going to talk about some things that we're going to be looking for against the Cleveland Browns. First thing that I do want to bring up is our new segment. We got a segment here that we're going to be doing each week once we preview the next week's game. We're going to call it This Dude, That Dude. That would be DISDAT. This Dude, That Dude. What it is I'm going to go around the horn and ask the fellas, which dude, this dude, that dude, position players, they feel need to make an impact against the Cleveland Browns. And I'm going to go straight back, man, to Hudge. And Hudge, who's your this dude, that dude?
Which way do I want to go here? Impact against the Browns. So they just lost Chubb. We shouldn't have to worry about the rushing attack. So who would get Cooper's assignment? Whoever's guarding Cooper. Would that be Fulton if he's back? or would that be Query?
Come on, man. Stop fucking around.
It's gonna be Fulton. It's gonna be Fulton.
So yeah, all eyes on Fulton for me.
No, actually, Fulton versus Amari is not really. It's not really a bad matchup. Amari, he can be known to be a little bit soft sometimes. So
Cooper versus my mama, a bad matchup that day, right?
Fulton just get hurt a lot. He ain't soft. He ain't SAWFT. That's Cooper. Cooper, he's soft.
Yeah, man, you better go.
You could punk Cooper out of the game. You could punk Amari Cooper out of the game.
That nigga Twan.
It's been done many times.
That nigga Twan just trying to entice a fight. I'm sick of Twan. Why would you even say? He go. Fulton didn't even play last week. You go bring up Fulton.
Why are we talking about?
Look, I said whoever's guarding Cooper. I didn't look. I don't know who we don't have a daily.
Nah, I know it. I know when I'm being instigated.
Damn, ain't this a bitch? Gonna bring up Kristian. Man, it's like, man. Yo, Dean, this dude, that dude.
All right, well.
All right.
I'm gonna give you two.
Dean,
First of
all, Dean, okay.
First of all, this dude is going to be Al Shire. Not saying that, you know what I mean, he had a bad game or did anything like that. I don't know, Twan, I don't know if you got his PFF grade or anything.
Yeah, he was top 5 on the team.
Okay.
So, he was 5th.
But I need a little bit more explosive plays. I just need him to get a little bit more active. I need to see him with a little bit more hands-on ball, just trying to be a little bit more into the mix. And now he's not led us in tackles, Byers still has. So I'm still wanting to know that he's getting fully acclimated into the team, and especially the way our line played in the second half, he is supposed to have some opportunities to be able to move around in the short middle. We're not going to give you a lot of time to go deep. So I need to see him active in coverage as well as the run game, especially with Chubb out. Now, this dude is outside here. That dude that we need to make sure has a good game is Tyjae Spears. We have to take the load off of Derrick Henry. So that dude in this game would be an easy setting. You got Myles Garrett, all these motherfuckers on the line. We need short passes. We need to be able to run the ball in space and get to the outside. It's not going to be a lot up the middle with our line. Tyjae Spears is that dude. He can make it happen.
Oh, yeah, so my dad dude, I'm gonna go back with Ray. I need Dylan to stack on his good game that he had.
Cool.
Yeah, because
Joe, this dude, that dude.
Hey, I know the rules that it's supposed to be. We taking 2 Titans players. I'm finna go completely against the motherfucking rules today, because this dude that we need to worry about, his name is Andre Dillard. This dude has to guard that dude on the other side of the line named Myles Garrett. If this dude don't do something against that dude with some 3 or 4 other dudes on the same side trying to help him with Myles Garrett, the dude in the backfield named Ryan Tannehill gonna be running for his life, and that dude might not make it through the rest of the game because of this dude is trash and back here oh, let me set up and let you come into me, Miles Garrett. Miles Garrett gonna run straight through him like a damn piece of paper, like a bull through a red cape. It's just gonna be freaking ridiculous. So this, I'm worried about this dude on the left end, left tackle, guarding that dude so he don't kill the other dude behind the dude.
Good ones though. But ain't we betting? What's his name? Ratings. Ain't we hoping he gonna show up? We get Karan. Are we getting Karate back? Does he have to do surgery? What are we
I
doing?
guess it's too early.
They gonna put one in the left tackle. They can put one in the left tackle.
That's ain't
Neither
that
one
what
of them play left tackle.
we want ratings, whatever.
Yeah, we'd like to see Raiders out there left
Yeah,
tackle.
that's what we wanna
Maybe
see.
not. But
We don't know if
it
they
don't really matter. Just put it this way: if it was Dylan Ravens out there instead of Andre Dillard, this dude, that dude would have went the same fucking way.
I'm pretty
Man,
good, bro.
trash that tomorrow, man. Yeah, I wish I could put Andre Dillard out on this counter and they let him get picked up, but I can't. So yeah, I feel you on that.
That was pretty good. That was a good one, bro. I like that. They took that in a different direction. This dude. So I'm not even gonna bring up his name for last year, okay? You'll know who I'm talking about in a second. But we know the defense that we have. I still believe that defense is gonna come together and be even better each week. But this dude has an assignment this year. And this dude is Titans offensive coordinator, Tim Kelly. This dude got to get a scheme. This dude got to get a feel of the play calling. This dude has got to understand how to utilize the players, the skill players that he has on his team. This dude got to realize that in order to make Ryan Tannehill as effective as possible, that play calling is so very important. Mixing up the plays. This dude got to make sure you sign Deandre Hopkins, get Deandre to do what Deandre has been doing. This dude got to realize that a 70-yard bomb to Treylon Burks still don't do shit for Treylon Burks. So okay, got you, Joe. So that's this dude, and that dude falls into this dude because when this dude Tim Kelly gets his shit together, that dude Ryan Tannehill now has the ability to do what Ryan Tannehill can do and what he's been doing in the NFL. And that's helped to move an offense. We've seen what Tannehill's been able to do without help. Get him a game plan. I'm not saying, don't nobody get all emotional here and think I'm over here praising Tannehill like he's a savior. That's not going to happen. But if this dude, Tim Kelly, can give us a game plan, an offensive game plan, then that dude, Ryan Tannehill, can get more done. And by the way, the in between this dude and that dude is the offensive line. Hey, offensive line, it ain't gonna matter if this dude makes the play calls. Because if you don't protect that dude, Ryan Tannehill, we fucked. You like that, Dean?
Oh yeah. That was hard. Yeah. I like you, Enzo. Yeah. I like yeah. Fuck with it. Fuck with this dude. That dude.
The line right now is 4.5. Opening line is 4.5. Cleveland Browns. I think that's going to change immediately.
Need to get on that immediately.
They got them minus 4.5.
Yeah, that's the opening line.
Yes, need to get on. Need to.
Disrespectful, even though we got that here.
Well, that's going to change
Tennessee.
Chubb is hurt. Chubb is hurt, so that's going to change real quick.
I'm betting that tonight. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm going to bet that night. The way they run around out here, goddamn it, yeah, Sean Watson gonna be hurt for the game over with.
And odds makers are saying take the Titans. I don't bet anymore. I don't play fantasy football anymore. I don't do none of that shit anymore. But y'all go ahead and do it for me.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna put them on a parlay. I'm definitely gonna put them on a parlay to win. Yeah, 4.5. That's gonna give me good numbers.
But that's where we have it this evening. You know, we basically covered the gamut here on Everything Titans, the Tennessee Titans podcast on NGSC Sports. I go around the horn before we close the show and start with Dean and ask Dean, hey, cuz, give me your final thoughts.
All right. Final thoughts is, man, kind of like alluding to what Ralph just said, man. We just worried about offensive and defensive play call. We just need to be consistent and actually throwing things at the opposition that actually can throw them off of their game. It seems it's just become too redundant that people come in when they play the Titans, they're able to play their game. And our game doesn't need to be some methodical, slow, 85 Bears wannabe type shit. We got to get out here, get dynamic, use our playmakers, and be able to move the ball appropriately in any situation. So I'm just looking to see growth with our young players. I'm looking to see the ball getting spread out a little bit more. And I'm looking to see the field to be opened up a lot more. Defense, I really can't complain. It's an offensive game. Our corners, I thought, played very well last week, and I'm looking to hopefully that they'll repeat that if Kristian don't. But I digress. So we'll go.
Man, hold up, man. Why we keep talking about Kristian for?
He didn't play last week.
He ain't gonna play this week. He ain't gonna play the week after. He ain't gonna play the week
But
after.
when he play, we're gonna have to talk about him the whole game, Ralph.
Right, but he ain't coming back for weeks.
We're gonna have to talk about him the whole game. Why can't we talk about
that motherfucker right now? He ain't doing shit anyway. When he come back, he ain't gonna do shit either.
You gonna hear one of these white boys online talking about he catch Kristian by Kristian Fulton 10 yards down the field. Tackle by Kristian Fulton 14 yards down the field. Tackle by Kristian Fulton. He gonna lead the league in tackles, man, if he played. He ain't gonna stop the ball from being caught.
Usually on the other shows, I got a rule. I tell people don't get high before the game, but this is the Everything Titan podcast. It's a little different here. I'm just gonna say Dean got too high before the damn show. Hey, Huds, what's your final thoughts, cuz?
I don't think Deshaun is the same quarterback he was before the suspension. At least he hadn't got back to that form yet. So I don't fear him, and I think our defensive line is going to eat. I say at least 4 sacks.
All right. Little bro, final thoughts.
My final thought is I need to see. Oh God. I'm sorry. My final thought just changed. I just saw the play. Nick Chubb,
He's gone.
done.
Yeah.
That looked like Napoleon Kaufman.
It's the same knee.
It's snapped backwards, Ralph. It's snapped backwards.
It's the same knee that he.
His knee.
Yeah. I watched it. Here. His knee got tore up, man. He's done.
Oh gosh. Oh man.
Done.
My final thoughts are thoughts and prayers with him and his family and what he's about to go through with their rehabilitation. And I'm gonna leave my final thoughts with that. I had something else I was going to say, but yeah, that's you don't want to see that. Let me change it.
No, you don't.
Yeah. Thoughts
Up.
and prayers with Nick Chubb and his family.
But it's part of the game, man. And my final thought,
It is.
My final thoughts is being a Tennessee Titans fan. You know, I never forget coming to Nashville, and I went to, it was 1990, the 1991 season, college football season. I went to a Vanderbilt game, and I was looking at the people in the stands, and they were just like hanging out and shit. You know, wasn't nobody really paying attention to the game. and I'm not only new, I'm new to Nashville. I don't know shit about Nashville. I don't know much about Vanderbilt University and definitely not Vanderbilt Commodores. And I finally asked dude, I was like, hey, is this something like y'all not into the game or whatever? And you're not from here, are you? I was like, no, I just moved here. Why? He said, we come here, a lot of us are alumni and season ticket holders, and we just come to hang out. I was like, come to hang out and watch the team? And no, they suck. They lose all the time. So we know they're gonna lose. So we come for the tailgate and come to hang out and be with friends. And I'm thinking, damn, that's a fucked up atmosphere. But in Nashville at the time, that's all there was. It was Vanderbilt Commodore football and Tennessee State. There wasn't nothing happening in the city. And then, Predators came and the Titans came in 1999. That was a season that, I mean, as a Titan fan, 1999 was as good as it ever got. I mean, McNair and Eddie George and that defense and that run and it was so good, and those 5-6 years, that window, and then shit went downhill. And as Titan fans, we just kind of like, what's the name? Dean said, it's like every fucking flag is against the Titans, or we can't get a fucking call, or we can't get a win, or we can't get a fucking break. So I'm just, I'm trying to see what I gave the first spiel, what on the first show. That wasn't the same spiel. What are you talking about? I talked about the Vanderbilt game on the first show.
Yeah, I think you did.
No, I didn't. I did not talk about me seeing Vanderbilt play football on the first show.
I think you did.
Okay, you're gonna make me go back. You're gonna make me go back.
You did go and got the grades, but you still the old man. Yeah, I think you did.
Okay, well then let me shut the fuck up about that Vanderbilt then. But anyway, final thought is we just want to get that winning feeling, man. I just want to get that feeling from moment number one to the end, even in a loss. Now, we don't want to lose, but even in a loss, that positive feeling, man, where it's like, okay, you see progress in the play calling, progress in the defense, progress in the coverage, progress with Tannehill. And by the way, as was said earlier, man, can you please open up some fucking lanes for Derrick Henry? You got a monster back there. Open up some fucking lanes. Because there'd be some time where I'd be looking like, you can't help it. I remember my grandson, why they always go up the middle? And sometimes you'd be wondering on a certain play, why the fuck do they just go up the middle? So that's what we're looking for, man. We appreciate y'all joining us this evening. Of course, this is Everything Titans Podcast, the NGSC Sports Tennessee Titans weekly show. I'm your host, Ralph Garcia, with, of course, my co-hosts, my cousin Antoine Hudson, my cousin the Dean, and my little brother, Lyndon Bradford. We appreciate you guys. Again, remember the website. It is ngscsports.com, Facebook at NGSC Sports, Twitter at NGSC Sports, YouTube at NGSC Sports. Please go to the YouTube page, like, and subscribe. As I like to say at the end of every show, hey, peace.
He's out.